Yes, hello, Triple B. Forcing another video out because boxing's so whack. But yeah, you know, we're waiting for the Tyson Fury Derek Chisora weigh-in. See if there's, what the weight's like. I imagine Tyson will look his usual self. I'm not too worried about the weight, but it's always interesting, especially for the heavyweights. I just wanted to say something leading up to this fight. So, do you remember like when Deontay Wilder, I think it was for number 2 especially, Deontay Wilder, by this time, he kept on going about he's filled by a spirit of the bronze bomber, and he wants a body on his on his record, because the bronze bomber wants a body, and the bronze bomber like it's another spirit or demonic entity, I'd say. Yeah, do you remember that? Right, you used to say that a lot, didn't you? Right here, look here, some clips. Yeah, and the clips are from like Tyson Fury, I think is Wilder 2. Like head-to-head, face-to-face kind of thing. And Wilder's going on about, I get this spirit in me, this ancestral spirit, right? Look how Tyson reacts. He's absolutely disgusted by this kind of thing, right? He's totally against it. He's seeing it as Satanism, okay? Check it out.
You're going to feel him as well, too, just like the feeling that you feel him now.
Is that like an alter ego or something? Or is it
is it
like a spirit that comes into you, or what is it?
It could be an alter ego. It can be a spirit. It may be an ancestry spirit. Who knows? I'm part Nigerian as well,
I don't
too.
believe in all that stuff at all.
I do.
Because Jesus Christ is my saviour, and I don't believe in all spirits and alter egos. And even mentioning stuff like that on TV, you're getting it. And honestly,
that's the difference.
If God is with
between
me,
and you.
nobody can be against me. And this is where I don't like you anymore.
Culture.
I came here today thinking me and you were similar. But sitting around this table, I know that me and you are so worlds apart.
Most definitely.
Worlds apart.
Light years.
I look to nothing to come
Light
inside
years.
me and win fights. Only the power of God above. That's it. And I get the power from that. I don't get the power from anything else. I don't need a second person to come and help me.
Now, I see how against it Tyson is. And now he said, he's saying it's demonic, it's a spirit. This is not a Christian thing. This is not a godly thing to do, invite these spirits into you. He's totally against it. I only need myself and God above through Jesus Christ. He's very passionate, very, very passionate about it, right? And I believe he's still based in this time, right? Yeah. They started to make moves on buying him, He started dressing different and all that, but he hadn't sold himself at this point. He was still very, very strong in his faith, right? And then we get this from a recent interview with Tyson.
I've heard you talk about how there is Tyson Fury and there is the Gypsy King, and there are two different characters.
Entities, yeah.
And Gypsy King is the one that you
morph into, like a Power Ranger or like a Transformer.
But you've got to let him go at some point. Do you have to let him go at some point?
I think for sure that there'll always be an element of the Gypsy King that'll never let me go. But I've created a monster, because nobody wants to see Tyson Fury no more. They want the Gypsy King. And for such a long time, I had that mask on and I couldn't get it off. Hence the name of the book, Behind the Mask. I had to get from behind that mask. And I finally managed to separate the two people, the two characters, and live as a normal person to my best ability. But Gypsy King don't like being normal. Gypsy King doesn't like living normality life. Everything's got to be ecstatic and electric and exciting and cameras and lights and action. So that will always be there, and I don't suppose it'll ever leave me.
Does Tyson Fury ever talk to the Gypsy King?
Do I talk to him? Not really, no. He's like a light switch, a flip on and off. Two characters within the same body.
In order for him to leave the Gypsy King, do you think that comes with maybe at the very end? Because I've heard you say to me something which I found quite shocking. You said that you'll probably get put out of your misery one day, and that'll be the end of your boxing career. Will that be the day that the Gypsy King dies?
I don't think so. I think the Gypsy King will be with me till death do us part. And even on my deathbed, there'll be some type of controversial, charismatic something going on. I don't think he'll ever leave until we die.
What's he saying? He's saying basically exactly the same as Wilder was. Oh, there are two. There's not just, Tyson Fury. There's the Gypsy King. We're two different people. And people want to see the Gypsy King. When the Gypsy King takes over, there'll always be part of me, the Gypsy King. He's talking in the third person as if you've got two, And And at the beginning, if you notice, look, an entity. Listen to this. He talks about it as another entity.
I've heard you talk about how there is Tyson Fury and there is the Gypsy King, and there are two different characters.
Entities, yeah.
And different characters.
Entities, yeah.
And different characters.
Entities, yeah.
I mean, he's basically talking exactly the same as Wilder did. Another entity. He's talking about possession, yeah, by demons, by spirits or whatever, but it's definitely an anti-Christian thing. No, I mean, you know, people get possessed by spirits and demons, and they get cast out. So it's very weird to talk Tyson in exactly the same way as something he been so disgusted with and against a couple of years ago, and now he's speaking in the same way. It's very worrying. I mean, it's just another sign. I've said I have my videos. You know, I was a big Tyson Fury fan because he stuck by his guns. He was red-pilled. He was Christian-pilled, and he would not deviate from that. And then they destroyed him and gang stalked him, and he came back. You know. You remember they really went after him, the media and all that. Oh, he's anti-Semite. He's saying these terrible things. Oh, he's anti-LGBT. He's anti-transgender. And slowly he had to get back into the favour and get another fight. And we talked about positively he had to do all the things that they asked him to do. You know, kiss gay men. Wear all these flashy Versace clothes, which represents materialism and consumerism, and all these big designer brands. You can see that recently, Balenciaga. Never heard of this, but the degeneracy and disgustingness that goes on in their photo shoots and the people behind it. This is, you know, fashion is the epitome of narcissism, yeah, of commercialism, of materialism, yeah. And you notice they use a lot of, especially Christian symbols and things like that in these pieces to kind of mock them a bit. You know, they'll use the Madonna or something like that. Versace, you know, well, Johnny Versace was a Battyman's as well, so you know, he obviously pushed that kind of degenerate drug Batty business lifestyle. It's the opposite of a Christian lifestyle. So, I mean, to me, this is just another nail in the coffin of Tyson Fury's reputation as a decent red-pilled, you know, Christian man. He's been bought. Now, I'd hoped that, you know, he would play their game for a bit, but really he would push back. But now he's starting to go a bit forward. What's going to come out with soon? I don't know. You know, what he's been doing is pushing degeneracy. And you watch the old videos from back in 2015, 2014, and before that, how he used to speak, dress, you know. And you don't... If you take the red pill and you swallow it properly, it doesn't regurgitate, man. It stays inside you. And you always be clued up. So I don't know, man. I believe his family would have been threatened, you know. Oh, Tyson, you got a nice family, you know. You know, you should, you know, you should make sure they're comfortable and safe and secure. They won't give you a direct threat, would they? Like, we're gonna kill your family. It's just implied. Yeah. We really want to keep them safe. You can keep them nice and safe and earn good money and da-di-da. You know. So I believe there is that, in the one hand, but you still have to fight against that devilishness, and you know, yeah, it's just so bizarre to see Tyson do a 180 on that stuff, a total 180 degrees. Now he talks about being possessed by another entity, which is called the Gypsy King, which is exactly what Wilder said about the Bronze Bomber, and you saw how emotional Tyson was, how against it he was. So he's sold, and it's sad. It's sad, but you know, they don't get to the top now. They want to control everybody. Tyson would have been out of the picture if he hadn't given in. And you give in slightly what they do with these celebrities, that they put a bit of pressure. They get them to do a few things. Look, we can sort you out. We can help you out. Yeah, we'll get you this fight. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll get you, you know, this deal with Lucozade. All you got to do is do this a few times. Oh, just say this. Oh, look, what do you got? Hug a gay man just to make sure it's fun. Say it's fine. And they start off little like that. And then before you know it, you're declaring like basically full demon possession. Okay? So, yeah, it's a shame, man. I pray for him. Anyway, God bless you all, people.